Hey guys, this is going to be a lot of talking in this video. I'm going to basically be answering my question and answer sheet. You guys gave me a lot of good questions actually, and I'm going to be going through all of them so that you guys can know some more things about me. And if you stick it out to the end, I've got some little stuff to show you that I've been doing. I've made a lot of headway on the pump snap, or not the pump snap, the rainbow variant design, and I've actually designed a small pistol to go with it. I'm going to start with the questions first. And then I'm going to go to, at the very end, I'm going to go to what I'm doing. Excuse me. Okay, one of the very first questions I got was, when did I start modding? I started modding in around 2009, later in the year, and I think it was October. I started with a Night Finder and I moved up to a Maverick. I wasn't happy with those, so I went to a long shot, and actually brass breached that long shot, angel breached it, and it worked perfectly. Sadly, that got dismantled years ago, rather like a year ago, so that's not working anymore. So I've got the shell somewhere, but it's pretty cool. It was black, and I've got some pictures on the Nerf Revolution pictures thread, but I don't really feel like going digging them up. So when did I start making homemades and why? I started about two to 3 months, I would say 3 to 4 actually, before September War 2010. I was not happy with how my blasters were performing relative to what I knew other people would be packing. So I started with a snap, and then I realized, hey, this would be a lot better pump action. So I moved on to a pump action snap, and that was my very first pump snap. So that was the first design. It failed about halfway through the war. I was stupid and used some stupid things on it, but it worked okay. I actually took down a lot of kills when it was working. What is the weirdest, most interesting commission I have ever done? The rainbow pump I'm doing now is probably my most interesting one. I really haven't had a weird one. It's interesting because it's completely different than anything I've ever done before. But it's going to be really cool, and that's what I like about it. What's my NIC loadout? 90%, 95% of the time I'm just carrying a pump snap and a bag full of darts. The Pump Snap 2.0 over there has served me well for 3 wars. It's going to its 4th on the 18th, and I've never had any problems out of it. When I do carry a pistol, which is pretty rare, I'll carry just a little modded, minimized Night Finder that does about 75, but that's pretty rare. My Pump Snap doesn't fail, so I don't have to carry anything. I just carry Pump Snap and a bag full of darts on the side, and I'm good to go for the rest of the day. Did I ever play a sport? I Greco-Roman wrestled for 3 years. I did fairly well. I didn't ever go to get to state, but I came really close to going to state a few times. So that was fun. I played in the marching band for 4 years. I was section leader for 2 years. I played mellophone, French horn, trumpet. I played a lot of different instruments. I played a year in college. I played French horn, but I will get to that in a second. When I was working on a homemade, have I ever expected a perfect blaster but messed up over missing a piece? And what was my first homemade? I haven't ever missed a piece, and that's not why I've ever messed something up. I messed something up because I messed things up. You always mess things up when you get going. It's a learning process. That's how I get to where I am today. My first homemade was a snap bow, and I love that snap bow. Sadly, it fell apart. So it's a learning experience. That's the main thing. How long have I known Bobo Lola and Lord Draconical, and how did I meet them? I met Drac at CFNF5 in Florida. We met and we hit it off. I loaned him a blaster to use throughout the day. It was my little Tornado with the little green one with the homemade internals in it, and he loves it, and he loved it, so he used that. And then after he saw what my pump snaps and my snap bows would do, he commissioned me for 2 of them, and that's what you saw in his videos before. Those were both built by me shortly after that war. And basically how I met Bobo Lola was, I met Drac in Atlanta at an undisclosed location, and I handed him off, and he had another guy coming, and his name was Bobo Lola. I had no idea who Bobo Lola was, and Bobo Lola was giving him some stuff and getting some stuff from him. So me and Bobo Lola, we realized we lived really close by, like maybe 30 minutes from each other. So then we decided, let's get together and have a mod party and stuff like that. And we just been continuing it, and it's just been an awesome experience. I love Mr. Bobo Lola. He's one of my best friends. Uh, my favorite homemade besides pump snaps. Um, my favorite homemade is either a snap bow or a plus bow. Pump snaps really don't have an equal to me though. Unless, of course, this rainbow I'm building catches my eye and I might have to build myself one. But, you know, it's just a love affair I have with direct clothespin trigger blasters. What music do I listen to while modding? I don't really listen to music while I'm modding. I watch a lot of Netflix. I'll just pick a series and I'll go all the way through it. Like I've seen the Futurama, all the seasons like 5 times. And I'm watching American Chopper right now. I watched all the How It's Made episodes. You know, it's just I'll go through and I'll just sit there, click next, click next, click next. And that's what I do while I mod. It keeps me really entertained, and I'll check my YouTube every now and then, check Facebook, you know, talk to people. I have a lot of friends who ask me questions and stuff like that, so that's what I do with most of my night. What advice would I give to a first-time modder? You want to start simple. Simple, like Night Finder simple, like cram a cup, like glue a coupler on the end, work with it that way. Start simple, take your time, don't ever want to rush through anything, because if you rush, you're likely going to make a mistake. You'll get better as you grow more familiar with what you're doing. You know, when you start modding, it's all about, you know, I want to build the big stuff, but you've got to really start small. Start small, work your way through, read a lot, lurk a lot on the forums, and just you want to take in as much information from other people as you can. Like when I joined Nerf Haven and Nerf Revolution a long time ago, I just read the forums. I didn't even post for a whole year while I had my membership. I was just reading everything. I've been back years and years and years just reading and reading and reading. And that really helped me out because it helped me understand certain things. Okay, this was the really long question when I think solos. I'm going to try to answer most of them. Here we go. Modding versus homemade. I've always had more luck with homemades. I like a good mod, but I love good homemades. CPVC versus brass. It completely depends on the blaster. If you want cheap, CPVC. If you want, you know, really specific barrel fit, brass. It really just depends on what you're doing. Modding rare / vintage blasters. Sure, mod vintage blasters. I mean, it really depends what it is, I guess. If you're going to be modding a Super Tech or something like that, a Super Tech 9000 or a Maximizer, I might be a little, those should be kept, you know, under lock and key. But, like Arrow Storms, crossbows, stuff like that you can get fairly easily. Sure, go ahead and mod them. It's awesome to mod guns. It's fun. Springers versus air guns. I've always been a Springer guy. I don't like the pumping. You know, with a pump snap, I pump once and get full range. With an air gun, you have to pump a few times. It's just not me. I love Springers. That's how I always have been. Domes versus slugs. Either one. I could care less. I have a bunch of slugs because my girlfriend made them for me and she's really good at them. Hoppers versus RFCBs versus inline clips. Hoppers. I mean, hoppers for high output blasters. Absolutely hoppers. RCBs for stuff a little lower volume. Inlines I've never liked. Speed loaders versus breaches. Either one. I love both of them. Alternative ammo. Arrows, missiles, whatever. Alternative ammo is fun as hell to play with. I mean, I love it. Shoot an arrow out of a big blast. It freaking almost explodes the thing. It's awesome. I don't know how much place they have in wars, but they're super fun. Am I out of college or not? This is kind of a specific question. And I didn't know if I really wanted to answer it or not, but I'm going to because, you know, I love you guys. So, I went to college for a solid year. It's just not what I want to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go and sit at a desk all day and punch numbers. So, I stopped going to college after a year. I'm looking right now for a machinist, like a machinist program, so I can get into making, you know, making all sorts of stuff. Because, you know, what I love to do is I love working with my hands and working with computers and things like that. I really want to get into the machining custom parts and stuff like that for people. So that's what I'm looking at now. I haven't got anything solid yet. I'm kind of doing this for now, but that'll come next year, hopefully. I'm looking for a job in the meantime, so. Coke or Pepsi? This is a stupid question. First off, I'm from the South. What do you think I'm going to say? Coke. My grandfather used to work for Coke, so I love Coke. What's my favorite Nerf gun or blaster? I love crossbows, and I love pump snaps. So those are my two favorites. Crossbows maybe aren't so, useful in the world of Nerf right now, but they're hella cool to use. And pump snaps just dominate most everything else. So, what's a rainbow? I did talk about that a lot in my last video. It is a catch mechanism that is completely contained within the plunger tube. It's basically a plus bow catch inside of a plunger tube, allowing for easy pump action. It's also a very nice style of catch, very easy to make, takes only a little bit of polycarb. It's just a really nice catch system, and I'm gonna, start getting into them. So, now that the big rant of me talking is all over, I hope you guys learned what you wanted to know about me. So, let's move on to what I've got right now. Let's see. Panda, your pump snap is getting a nice coat of orange on it. None of this has been clear coated yet, so that's why I'm being a little easy with it. Stock is orange. The body's going to be blue on this one, but I have it painted in base coat black for now. It's going to be blue with a orange and black handle where the grip is, so that'll be really cool. Everything else I've been doing has been related to the rainbow variant that I'm going to build. I have completely got the design nailed down where I want it to be. I'm going to show you guys what I've got worked out on paper. It's a little messy. It took me a while to do, and I drew this in full scale. So I don't know if you guys can see this. That's it there. I mean, there's not much you can tell from this, but it is a rainbow pump variant. Modified catch down there. It's going to use a different style of priming than I usually do. Instead of being a slotted rod, it's going to be a rod with a washer on the end and two small bolts through the sides of the slide. So those two slides push the bolt backwards, thus priming the blaster. It's kind of hard to explain. So that's really the best I can tell you guys for now. It is going to be very nice. It's going to have 7 inches of draw. It's basically a very fancy rainbow pump with more draw and a little different construction method. So that's that. That's one rainbow that I'm working on. Another one that I worked on, because the commissioner I'm doing these for now wanted a small pistol. I have designed a rainbow pistol. It's got about the same draw length as a night finder, but it'll have a bigger plunger tube and probably use an Everbuilt spring. So that's kind of the size that you're looking at. I actually moved the handle up quite a bit on this one so that it's much smaller, not like down to here, because it would have been like down here if I didn't do that. I'm still going to extend this bottom portion and round it a little bit, but that'll be really cool. That'll be a completely my design kind of thing. And I know you guys are probably getting bored. I'm sorry. I mean, there's not much I can tell you. Today I cut out some pieces for the rainbow pump. There's the handle all smoothed out and, awesome. Triggers all cut, rounded and smooth. And the little block piece on the front of the handle. I've got to make my master order and get some 1/4-inch polycarb to do the rest of it. And all the little fasteners and stuff I need will be in that order. So then I'll be able to get going on it. So, we're getting close to that, somebody winning that subscriber. Well, not that. We're getting close to 592 subscribers. The way my stats are looking at right now, we're almost certainly going to get to it by the end of the year. And I've got a little surprise for it. It won't be anything real huge, but it'll be something neat. I've got a good idea for it. So, guys, thank you for watching all the way through. I'm sorry if I bored you a little bit, but love you guys. Comment down below, like, favorite, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys another day. Have a nice day or night wherever you are.